Hello students, good morning. Uh, I have 3 classes with you in a week. Okay, in 2 classes I will do Radiant Readers, and in one remaining class I will do Merchant of Venice. I have told you earlier that there is a play in your syllabus, that is Merchant of Venice. Okay, so Merchant of Venice is a play or drama that is written like with the names like this. Listen, I have a different kind of book with me. You will not get this kind of book. Your book will be different, but the text is the same. Okay, the text is same. Now see, the drama is written like this. Scene Act 1, Scene 1. A drama is divided in some acts, and each act is divided into some scenes. When we go to a theater or go to watch a play in any auditorium, then some characters come into the stage and they play their parts, right? And they tell their dialogues. And in drama, when a author writes a drama, he writes like this. He writes the name of the character at first, and then he write down the dialogue of that character. What does the character is saying? What is the character is saying? He writes like this, and then by hearing these dialogue, so any another character started saying like this, and his name is written here, and these dialogues are his. I am telling repeatedly that you will not get this kind of book. Your book will be different kind of one. This is one different book. Okay, but the text is same. I am going to start it, but first of all I am telling about the characters who are in this drama. This is Merchant of Venice, written by William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare, you know the name. He was the most famous author, poem and novelist and dramatist of English history of literature. He was so famous that the English history of literature, in history of English literature, there are some ages, and one age has been denoted as Shakespearean age. That how famous and how great an author he was. Okay, and in Merchant of Venice there are some characters, and most important characters are Antonio, Bassanio, Portia and Shylock. These characters are most important characters of the play. Antonio, Bassanio, Shylock and Portia. But there are characters, the list of the characters here. I am just introducing the characters to you. The Prince of Morocco. Oh, at first the Duke of Venice. You will not see the Duke of Venice in class 8. It will be continued up to class 10. This drama will be continued up to class 10. Part by part you will read it. The first part you will read in class 8, then when the class 8 will end, you will read in the rest of the part in class 9, and there will nothing left in class 10. In class 9 the almost it will be in, and in class 10 there will be a small portion left. It will be completed, and this book is included in your ICSE syllabus. Remember, this is in your ICSE syllabus, and for that reason you have to read it very seriously and sincerely. Okay, so Prince of Morocco, Prince of Aragon, suitors to Portia. Suitors, that means somebody who has come to Portia with the wish to marry her. With the wish to marry her. Portia is a lady who was very rich, and she was lived in Belmont. This play is written in the base of Italy. It is centralized in the Italy. Okay, and Belmont is a city of Italy, and also Venice is also a city of Italy. Okay, so Prince of Morocco and Prince of Aragon, they came to participate in a competition. There is a competition, you will be aware of the fact later on. but just now you go through the characters. Antonio, I have told you, a merchant of Venice. Merchant, that means a businessman, a reputed businessman of Venice. Is Antonio is a good person. Antonio is the good person. Now Bassanio. Bassanio is also a good person, and he is a very good friend of Antonio. They are friends. They are bosom friends. Antonio and Bassanio. Now rest of these persons are also their friends. Graciano, Lorenzo, Leonardo. Leonardo is the servant to Bassanio. Leonardo is not the friend. He is the servant to Bassanio. Other friends, the name of the other friends of this Antonio and Bassanio are Salerino, Salenio, Salerio. These names are quite look alike, but the pronunciations are different. The pronunciation, look at the pronunciation. Salerino, Salenio, Salerio. Okay. Now, Shylock. Shylock, a rich Jew and a money lender. He is the villain. We can regard this person as the villain of our story or of our drama. Shylock. Shylock, a rich Jew and a money lender. And what is a Jew? I will explain. Okay. At first, we going to familiar with the characters. Now, Jessica. Jessica is the daughter of Shylock. She is the daughter of Shylock. She is the daughter of Shylock. Tubal. Tubal is another Jew and he is Shylock's friend. Who is Tubal? Tubal is another Jew and he is Shylock's friend. Lancelot Gobbo, a clown. That means he had made some comic scenes in the drama. Lancelot Gobbo, and actually he is a servant to Shylock. And after some time, he went to serve Bassanio. He left the work of Shylock and he went to serve Bassanio. Then Old Gobbo. Old Gobbo is the father of Lancelot. Okay. Now, Portia. Portia is the main female character of the drama. Portia. An heiress of Belmont. Heiress, that means he is a rich lady, and he is the central character of our drama. And Nerissa. Nerissa is her lady in waiting. That means she is the maid of Portia, but she is like the friend of Portia. Now, Balthazar and Stefano, servants to Portia. Okay. There are some other characters like some other merchants, officers of the court of justice, jailer, that means the jailer, musicians, servants to Portia, and other attendants. Okay. So now, what was I telling you? That the Jew, who is referred as Jew. Jew is a different kind of religion. Okay, Jew is a different kind of religion. It is in the earth before Christianity, and Jesus Christ came in the world as the Son of the God, and he came to the world to rescue the people from the tyranny of the Jew priests. Okay, now I'm just going to give you a short account of the first scene and first act of Merchant of Venice. Okay, then I will read the text. Now, Antonio, you have read the character Antonio, okay, who is a merchant of Venice. Antonio, a rich Venetian. That means he lived in Venice. Antonio, a rich Venetian merchant, is visited by his friends Salerino and Salenio, who tell him that he is sad. Antonio was sad in the first act, first scene, and he was visited by his friend who tells him that he is sad. Salerino ascribes his sadness to his anxiety. Salerino ascribes his sadness to his anxiety about his merchant ships at the sea. You know, Antonio is a merchant and he has his ship many ships went into the went into for business. Hmm. Went into for business, and those ships were in sea now. Antonio must be worried about their safety because they were in the sea. Antonio, however, does not agree with the state statement, saying his ships move in different directions. Then Salarino says he's sad because he is in love. He interprets like that. Antonio rejects Antonio rejects this suggestion as well. Salarino then says he is sad because he is not married. Antonio says that he views the world as a stage on which he has been called to play a sad role. Now let's start the text today. We will start to read the text today. Okay. Okay. So, Act 1, Scene 1, Venice. Look here, Venice, a street. Enter Antonio, Salario, and Solanio. Antonio, who is the good person and the central character of our play. There are, you can say, four central characters of the play: Antonio, Bassanio, Portia, and Shylock. So, Antonio is sad. We know that he is sad in this scene. So enter Antonio, Salario, and Solanio. They are all friends. Okay. So Antonio is telling first. What is he telling? In sooth. Okay, now I want to tell you something, that the words of Shakespearean language is very difficult for you. You can't understand the words right now, but when you will read very minutely and you will read the paraphrases, you will read the meanings of the word, it will be given in your book, then you will understand it. But you have to do one thing, that I am telling the meaning of the sentences now. I am going to explain each and every sentence to you. Then you please listen it very carefully. In sooth, I know not. In sooth means in fact. I know not why I am so sad. Antonio does not know that why he is so sad, but he is feeling sad. It wearies me, you say it wearies you. But how I caught it? It wearies me. That means I am I want to know the reason of my sadness, and you also want to know the reason of this sadness. Okay, but how I caught it, found it, or came by it, what stuff it is made of, whereof it is born, I am to learn. That means I don't know that how did I came of certain sadness with me. I am sad, but I don't know the reason. That why I am sad, but I want to know the reason. I have to know the reason that why I am so sad. And such a want with sadness makes of me that I have much ado to know myself. That means I am now sad, but I don't know the reason of my sadness. That means I know nothing about myself. I have to know many things about myself. Then his friend, Antonio's friend, Salario, what does he tell? He tells, your mind is tossing on the ocean. Tossing on the ocean, that means your mind is in the ocean. You are thinking about the ocean because your ships are in the ocean. Your ships are in the oceans for what? For the business. They went for the business in other countries. And on that time, you have to remember this play is written very earlier. And on that time, there were no technologies, nothing, no radars, nothing. And that was the reason they were very thoughtful on that time. They were very eager to know the situations of the ship, where is the ship, and what was the condition of the ocean on that time. So they were very sad. They used to very sad. So Salario thinks that Antonio is thinking about his ships which are in the sea. Your mind is tossing on the ocean, there where your Argos is with portly sail. Argosies, that means big ships which have went for the business in other countries, with portly sail, like signors and rich burghers on the flood, or as it were the pageants of the sea do ever pierce the petty trafficker that curtsy to them, do them reverence as they fly by them with their woven wings. So, what is the meaning of these sentences? That what is the meaning of these sentences? That you must be thinking about your ships, and your large ships may be compared to the noblemen of the city, as the rich noblemen have their have their own gorgeous spectacles. Your ships have the same among petty traffickers. That means there are very gorgeous ships in the ocean of many rich persons, and your ships is no your ships are also very gorgeous with like them. The the small ships are to respect your ships greatly, as those are rich filled. Your ships are rushing in the ocean with their speedy wings. That means your ships are going to another country through the ocean, and they were taking their speeds there. Hmm? Now Solanio, what does he say? Believe me, sir, had I such venture forth, if if I were the merchant in your place, and my ships were in the sea, I was certainly I have to be thoughtful about my ships. The better pan of my affection would be with my hopes abroad. I should be still plucking the grass to know where sits the wind, and every object where sits the wind, peering in maps for ports and piers and roads, and every object that might make me fear. Misfortune to my ventures out of doubt would make me sad. That means Solanium says that your sadness is quite justified, because if I were in place of you, I would certainly be thoughtful about my ships, because there were some perils in the sea, and we don't know that what is happening with the sea, and that will make us certainly sad and thoughtful about the condition of the ships. Okay, now after that, Salidu again says that my wind cooling my broth means soup. Okay, my wind cooling my broth. I am having a soup right now, and the wind is cooling my broth or my soup, and when the direction of the wind is coming to to cool my broth, I would be thoughtful about the wind. When I have experienced the wind, then I have been thoughtful about the wind of the sea. Would blow me to an awe when I thought what harm a wind to great might do at sea. I should not see the sandy hourglass run, but I should think of shallows and of flats. That means sandy hourglass is a kind of watch on that time. You know, it was made of glass, and it was filled with sand, and there were two part of the glass, and from one part the sand will pass out through a very small hole into the other part of the glass. It is called the sandy hourglass. And Salidio says that when he looks at the sandy hourglass, he thinks about the sands in the ocean, and uh, there were some hills like sand in the ocean, and in which the ships will stuck, and it will meet with an accident, and he will be certainly thoughtful about the perils of the sea, so he cannot withstand the sandy hourglass. But I should think of shallows and of flats, and see my wealthy Andrews docked in sand, veiling her height of lower than her ribs, to kiss her burial. Should I go to church and see the holy edifice of stone, and not bethink and not bethink me straight of dangerous rocks. When he went into the church and see the sacred stones, he right then he thinks about the uh, hills and stones in the sea, and he thought that his ships are in the ocean and it might stuck to the stones and make with an accident. And in this way he is thoughtful in each and every part of his life about his ships which are in the sea. And when the ships come to the port, he will be relieved. But before this, he will be certainly thoughtful about the perils and the dangers which might be happen to his ships, which a touching but gentle vessel side would scatter all her spices on the stream, enrobe the roaring water with my silks, and in a word, but even now worth this and now worth nothing. So what does they sell? They sell spices or silks in other countries, and the ships are laden with those things. And when the ship will meet an accident and it will broke down, then all the spices and silk will scatter in the sea water, and then the worth of the spice or the silk will be there. Will it be valuable anymore? No, it will not be valuable anymore, because the spices once fell into the sea, it will be valueless. It will be dumped in water, and it will go into the deep ocean, and it will be valueless. The business will be end there, and the silk or the clothes will scatter in the ocean. Then his business or his ships will be finished there. So he was certainly very much thoughtful about the perils and dangers of the sea. And in a word, but even now what this and now what nothing. Shall I have the thought to think of hills, and shall I lack the thought that such a thing be chanced would make me sad? So here is the chance. Here is the chance that I will be certainly sad. It can make me sad, because when I am thoughtful about the perils and dangers of the ship, I will be sad. Certainly, I will be thoughtful. I will be very much in a tension, very much in tension. But tell not me. I know Antonio is sad to think upon his merchandise. So Salario is trying to bring the conclusion that Antonio is sad because his ships are in the sea, and he is certainly sad because his ships are laden with merchant goods and they have went for trade. So it is quite obvious for him to be sad. So today we are finishing here. Next class, in next Merchant of Venice class, I will start from here. Okay, thank you.